Run music now. Standby video. Video now. Standby studio. Going to the studio in 4, 3, 2.
Hello, my name is Abby Gruber, and I'm here today at Four Seasons Sports Complex in the Carroll Gymnastics Center. We're here today because Dick Schlechter, who normally hosts this program, will be performing on the parallel bars for us. You may be asking why, and I'm going to turn my attention to Dick, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how he got himself into this mess. Dick?
Well, hopefully it won't be a mess. This was not my idea originally. It was actually the idea of a couple of people off camera here, behind the cameras. But we were shooting some material up here for the opening for the 40th anniversary at the Recreation and Parks. And the idea came up of doing something in the gymnastics end of it, and of course I said no way. But they were persistent, and they convinced me that we might be able to encourage people out there, especially in the baby boomer senior year area, to start getting physically fit, to think about being physically fit. So that's what brought this whole thing on, and all I can tell you is with a short amount of time, because that was on September 7th, I think, when we tested the bars that day. Right. Parallel bars, that is, folks. That did not give the people here at Four Seasons much time to get me in shape to be able to do the little routine that we'll do today.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, Dick. So you said the people at Four Seasons, and with me today I have Jessica Danatelli and Ricky Schneider. Ricky was your trainer, and Jessica is the director of events at Four Seasons. Is that correct?
I was the director of events. Now I'm the director of operations, so have a lot more on my plate these days.
Excellent. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And could you tell us a little bit about the facility and some of the amenities that are offered here at Four Seasons Sports Complex?
Sure. We have been around for a very long time. Started as a tennis club way back when, and then about 2 decades ago burned down, actually. Since then, it's evolved into what you see today, and we have a fitness center as well as sports fields. We're home to Carroll Gymnastics and Carroll Aquatics. So there's definitely something here for all ages, and we encourage fitness at all levels and all ages. And it was just perfect when Kathy had contacted me about Dick getting involved here and kind of getting back to the basics in order to get him ready to do this. And that's when Ricky and I got together and decided to get a little bit of training going on with Dick and get him ready.
So Ricky, you were a key element in Dick's training program to get him ready and able to revisit the parallel bars. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started out with Dick? Do you do a physical assessment of your clients?
Yes, we do. We actually sat down and talked for a while about what his goals were. We went over what he was trying to accomplish, and then we started baseline measurements. We took girth measurements. We tested his body fat to make sure that he was in good condition, and we also, checked his BMI. Even though it's a small indicator of how healthy you are, we still check that. And then we were able to do some strength assessments and other fitness assessments just to make sure that he was in good condition and we could start a strength training program.
Excellent. Is that something standard that you would do with anyone seeking out personal training services at Four Seasons?
Absolutely. I always recommend that someone go to their doctor first, make sure that if they have any restrictions that I'm able to find out about it, or if I need to coordinate with their doctor or physical therapist, that way I know what I'm dealing with. And we do all the normal assessments, and then We cover all aspects of training, which are cardiovascular endurance, strength training, and balance and flexibility.
Excellent. So how many times per week was Dick in the gym working out under your supervision?
Well, we incorporated all of those aspects 2 times a week. So we did a little bit of cardio for an hour twice a week. We did a little bit of cardio, then we did some flexibility training, in which I actually participated in stretching, Mr. Schlechter here, and we also did strength training. So we kind of combined everything together for about 2 hours a week.
So he spent an hour 2 days a week with you, and then I'm going to move over here to Kathy and find out how often he ended up in the gym. So he was in the gym on the bars how many times?
He came in once a week, and then when he had time in his busy schedule, he would try twice a week. So he came in, and he'd come in, he'd work on the bars. We had our girls' team in here at the time, and they were in awe at what he was doing. First of all, because you're not a little kid, and second of all, because some of the skills in his bar routine are pretty impressive.
I do have to say he's not a little kid, and one of the things that prompted us to do this program is because Dick just celebrated his 70th birthday.
That's correct.
Now, Kathy, will you tell us a little bit about the center? You said you had your girls' team in here working out. I'm sure you have many different gymnastics teams in different levels that practice in your gym. So could you tell us a little bit about what the gym has to offer and what Carroll Gymnastics has to offer?
Sure. We start 18 months, and then we go all the way up through adult classes. So we do have adult classes. Dick could only come in, when his schedule worked out. So sometimes he came in during the adult class. Sometimes he did come in on his own. We offer the gymnastics. Also, we offer cheerleading classes as well, where we work on the tumbling skills. So we have all of that going on, and then we do have our competitive team, and our competitive team, they range from level 4 to level 9, and they compete in and out of state of Maryland.
So how often on average would Dick be in here working out? Would it be an hour or 2 hours? How often can you expect somebody would come in, or I should not say how often, how long in duration would he spend in the gym?
Well, when you're older, you tire fast. And that's not just coming from Dick, that's myself. When you do gymnastics, you're younger, you can get back up and you can do things quickly. But you need time, you do a routine, you need a lot of recovery time, a lot more than when you're younger. So Dick would come in, he'd come in for about a full hour, and he would take his time working through the routine. Sometimes he would do the full routine. Sometimes he would just work on certain skills that he wanted to put in. So about a full hour.
Excellent. Now, this is not a typical fitness program that someone would engage themselves in if they didn't have a background as a gymnast, probably early on in their lives. Would you say that?
Oh, anyone can start. Anyone can start. And as far as the adults, we do get adults that come in and they've never done gymnastics before, but for some reason, maybe it's the new year, they want to learn a cartwheel, or they just want to take the class and get some stretching going on. So at any age, anyone can come in and participate.
Would you always recommend that they would try to work also with a trainer in a fitness type setting to have some muscle development in conjunction with training?
Well, it worked out. I didn't mean to cut you off. It worked out perfect. It worked out perfect that Dick wanted to come in and do the gymnastics and also strengthen up. And with us being in this facility, it's great because they have that option. And there's also, with a discounted rate, if they participate in a class, they'll get a discounted rate to go and work out. So if we ask the adults when they come in, or anyone that comes in, what exactly they're looking for. Some of the adults are coming in and they want a certain skill. They want a cartwheel, they want a back handspring, they want to learn how to flip. Some just come in and say, I don't know, you tell me. So we talk to them, and then if they are, saying they want more flexibility, they want more strength and conditioning, then we have the option to send them over to Ricky, and they can get that in there.
Great. So I did touch on Dick's history as a gymnast earlier on in his lifespan. Dick, could you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in gymnastics?
Well, very briefly I'll do that, and then I'm going to excuse myself if you don't mind so I can go change. But I started, of course, I come from a Czechoslovakian family, and my sister, 12 and a half years older than I am, she was an excellent gymnast. And we've got a little thing flying around us here, folks, so hopefully nobody will get stung. In any event, I can't really remember what age I was when I first started in the gym, but I remember we were all in a group according to height, and I was at the end of the line. I probably hadn't started elementary school yet. And that was with the American Sokols, which is the Czechoslovakian gymnasts in the Baltimore area. And by the time I was in my senior year of high school, I was teaching one night a week at the American Sokols, 2 nights a week with the American Turners, which is the old German Tumpverein. And then the Parkville High School, where I went to high school, they asked me if I would teach a class in the morning before school 5 days a week. So my senior year was a pretty busy year. But I loved every minute of it. So I was literally on apparatus every single day. And probably early 20s, I'd say maybe 21, 22 at the latest, is where other things come into the life, marriage and this type of thing, and gymnastics went away.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Until
What
now.
pulled you out of being a gymnast? Because it sounds like something that you were very passionate about. So it was just other life forces.
It really is a great form of exercise because you're working with your own weight. And it's not just strength, it's timing and muscle coordination and everything else. And when I first tested the bars out, the first thing I realized, the upper body strength was not there anymore where it needed to be. And I'll say this right here with Ricky sitting here. She didn't have a lot to work with, but let me tell you, she works miracles over there. We had the joke kind of running around, like I didn't realize that anybody so tiny and petite could make a full-grown man hurt so bad in 1 hour. But she knows when to say stop. And we were just here a week or so ago. We recognized, because I was working out at home and I went a little bit too far. And the first thing Ricky told me when I went in there the next day, she said, "You didn't stop when you should stop. You do muscle damage." So we stayed off of those muscles that day. So in any event, this was the first time in my life I ever used a personal trainer. And believe me, I would always recommend anybody, you absolutely get yourself a personal trainer involved.
What was your biggest challenge going through the personal training program with
Me.
Ricky? Yes, you.
I
You
was
were
the
your biggest personal
yeah.
challenge. Well, now, just to be a little more specific, if you will.
Probably the time frame that we had to work with, because we were only looking like a little bit over 2 months, almost 3 months. I wasn't sure that I could be up in shape in that amount of time. But like I say, they pulled it off, and much to my surprise and pleasure, they were able to do that. I would never have bet on it when I first started off.
Do you feel that this has promoted a positive lifestyle change for you, and will you continue to work out 2 times a week?
I certainly hope so. I've always felt good, and I've always kind of kept myself in reasonably healthy condition, because I am big into dietary supplements and this type of thing with another business. But by the same token, they only do so much. Exercise, and proper exercise, and I should say exercise done properly, maybe is a better way to put it, is critically important. Looking back with hindsight, I think it's much more important with someone my age than when I was in my late teens and early 20s. You can do a lot of things wrong then and recover very quickly. You do something wrong when you're 70 years old, and I should say 70 years young, because I don't feel old. But you do something wrong at my age, and it takes a lot longer for the muscles to heal. The other thing I did learn is that the lactic acid that builds up in your muscles when you are really working with them takes longer to get out of the muscles at my age than it ever did when I was before, because we would be on the apparatus, and I know, same as your girls here, they get done and another girl gets up there and maybe another one, and then the other one that just got off is ready to go back and do the exercise again. When you get up into the upper years, the lactic acid is still in those muscles and the strength isn't there, and when you start pushing that limit, you're asking to hurt yourself.
I would assume, again, and we'll turn to Ricky for this, that is why a physical trainer would be key, simply because you're able to help people recognize their limits, especially those people that may just be getting back into an exercise program, that may have been very active and fit prior to returning into a world of physical fitness. So could you tell us a little bit about some of the tips and techniques and strategies that you employ when you meet up with someone that is engaging in an exercise program for the very first time?
Well, as Dick mentioned, one of the things that, I guess for me, I don't want to say it's common sense, but I know better, is he actually did work muscles 2 days in a row, the same muscle group. And like he said, he ran into some very bad soreness from that. So it is important to know when to stop and to know when to rest between sets when you are working out, especially with strength training. If you do a set, you might feel like you're ready to go ahead and do the exercise again and within a couple seconds, but you really do need to take that minute. And as you get older, the breaks do become longer. So you get more like 1.5 minutes between sets when you get into your older years, because your muscles do need time to recover, rest and recover before you do the exercise again. So the same with cardio. People don't use their heart rate zone unless they're training for some specific event. So it is good that I'm able to tell people, where their heart rate needs to be when they're doing cardio work. And sometimes it's as easy as telling them to do a talk test when they don't feel like, getting into mathematical equations. I'll tell them, well, if you're on the cardio machine, can you talk comfortably with the person next to you? You should be able to break a sweat. You should feel warm and that you're breathing a little bit heavier. But if you can't talk to the person next to you without trying to catch your breath, and you feel that winded, then you're working too hard.
That's why you always carried on a conversation. Now I know why.
She was always testing.
She was assessing me. Okay, now I just learned that now. I'm going to excuse myself, Abby, if you don't mind, from your panel, and I've got to go change and leave you guys on your own for a while.
Excellent. Well, we will continue to talk about the wonderful things that Four Seasons has to offer, and we'll anxiously await Dick's return so that we can watch his routine. Kathy, tell us a little bit more about, I'm intrigued that you have adults that come into your gym and are looking to get into gymnastics for the very first time. Do you have any stories that stick out in your mind about any of the adults that you've seen?
Well, we have some adults that come in and they feel they can do more than what they really can do. So that's a big deal when the adults first come in and we talk to them, and you have these people that, I can do this, I can do that, but then when they actually start to try it, they realize that they're not strong enough, that they need to back down and hit the basics first and then move on from there. And we do have a foam pit where they can try a little bit of the harder skills. If they do want to flip, they can go ahead and they can flip into the foam pit.
And obviously that reduces their ability to become injured or hurt in any way.
Correct.
Excellent. Jessica, will you tell us a little bit more about some of the other physical fitness opportunities that are available here? We touched on that a little bit at the beginning, but clearly there are other things that people looking to get into a physical fitness program have the option to do here at Four Seasons that are not gymnastic oriented. So you said something about your aquatic center. Would you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. Well, before I go there, you hit on something really, really important earlier, and you mentioned the words lifestyle change, and that is really everything that we're about here. And it's, changing your life to be healthy. And when you walk in our front doors and we show you what we have to offer, we want you to come in with that mindset that I want to live a healthier life. And Carroll Aquatics is definitely one place to start. They offer everything from mommy or daddy, parent me classes at a young age to get little ones familiar with the water in the pool, swim instruction for all ages, including adults and elite swimmers in a master's swim program. Then they also have water aerobics, which is great for all ages, and especially seniors, because water is a way to, being in the water is a way to work out without the constraints that you would have in a regular fitness setting, which I know
it's
you can
easier on the
explain.
joints, definitely. Or if someone's had hip replacements or knee replacements, doing strength training in water is obviously a lot easier on your joints and muscles and bones. So.
And recommended by doctors
Oh, yeah,
and physical
absolutely.
therapists, especially when getting back into fitness programs and working out. So they also have a swim team for a more competitive atmosphere down there, and those kids can do amazing things in the water, sort of like the gymnastics kids that we see here. So really they encompass things in all ages, and the same with our other programs here. Having that healthy lifestyle, although you can start at any time, really is great to start as young as possible. So we have our indoor facilities and even some outdoor programs for sports for kids, and it's just good to ingrain that type of mentality in a child, that being active and being fit is a great way to live your life, and it can only benefit you in the years to come. And like Dick said, when he was in gymnastics young, that stuck with him, and it really made him feel the importance of being fit, to the point where he's 70 and wants to do that again. So that's really great, and you can do it at all ages. So we really want to touch on that healthy lifestyle, and it can benefit you in so many ways, not just physically but mentally as well, because you feel good about yourself when you're fit and active. And older people that are more active can spend time with their families doing more, whether it's spending time with your spouse or your kids or your grandkids or your great-grandkids. You can be active and do that, and it just increases the value of your lifestyle. So it's really important, and we really want to encourage that here and offer as many different things for as many different ages as we possibly can.
You've certainly done a nice job of that. And Ricky, as I was listening to Jessica talk, I started to think, what is one of the biggest challenges that you see people come to you with? So if somebody has really been motivated to get back into a physical fitness program, or maybe even to start exercising for the very first time, what are they telling you when you see them for the first time? What's their motivating factors for getting them in the door?
Well, I would definitely say the biggest challenge for most people is the motivation. They don't see this as something fun. They see it as like another work outside of work, because it takes a lot of energy to get back into an exercise program. So that's where we come into play, and also the group exercise classes really help to motivate people, knowing that you have people waiting there for you. It makes you more accountable, and you're able to make friends, and obviously personal training, you feel accountable if you have a trainer waiting for you and you have an appointment set. So that's definitely one of the biggest obstacles. Also, another obstacle is just injuries and limitations such as disease or disability. Sometimes it's hard to work around certain diseases and disabilities, but we do it, and I've trained people in wheelchairs. I've trained people that are blind. I've dealt with knee replacements, hip replacements, all of it. So it's for anybody. It can be a little bit more difficult in those situations, but exercise is definitely for anybody.
You hit on a key point, and I'm curious how long it takes some of your clients to realize. You said it's something that feels like work, or that it takes a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. So we all know that either going into a day, whether you work out in the morning or you work out at the end of your work day, sometimes one of the limiting factors is I just don't have the energy to go do that today. So how long does it take people to realize that exactly the opposite is happening, that the more you work out, the more energy you actually have to put into your life and enjoy life, like Jessica was saying, with your kids, your grandkids, your neighborhood kids if you don't have your own children.
Right.
How long does it take people to actually recognize that?
Yeah, well, we tell all of our members it takes about 21 days to build a habit. I'm not saying you're going to like it in 21 days, but to actually get into the routine and reap benefits, as short as 3 weeks, you can start seeing benefits like, hey, I was able to garden an hour longer today. Or, wow, that's it. You know, my back didn't hurt when I picked up my grandkid. I really felt myself tighten my core. So it's not all about losing weight. It's not all about looking better. There's definitely other benefits. So I hear people say all the time, you know, they're frustrated with the scale, but they were able to, you know, walk 2 hours with their friend the other day, and they've never been able to do that before. So I'd say on average, probably about a month.
Okay, excellent. Kathy, just back to you now. Are there is there anything that you want to tell us about Dick's routine that's coming up that we're going to view here in a couple of minutes? Anything you want to tell us about some of the moves that he's going to engage in?
Well, I will tell you to sit down and strap your seatbelt on, because the first time that I saw him do his routine all together, I was so impressed. And the girls' team, like I said, they're practicing that evening that he comes in, and they were impressed. And they even said, wow, I want to try that skill that he did. That looks so hard. So you'll see when he gets up there and he does his routine. Well, actually, I'll tell you, the first time he got up there, I was telling him, look, let's just see if you can support yourself. Let's just see if you can straighten up on the bar. I thought for sure he was going to be so wobbly in the arms and just have to work on support. Well, he got up and he started swinging, and he had great shape on his swing. He held himself up. He wasn't wobbly. He did way more than I was expecting on the first day. So the first day I was really impressed, and then every day he would come in, he did more and more and more. And like I said, it's a pretty exciting routine for someone who hasn't done this in, what did we say? He was 20 when he stopped, 21, 22, 3, and now he's 70. So for someone who's been out for so long and who hasn't been working out, and then for him to get up and, you know, just little by little put this routine together and get stronger with the help of Ricky here, the routine is great. It really is. You'll be impressed.
Excellent. We can't wait to see that. Another treat that we are going to have is some of the members of your girls' team. Is that correct? That will be doing a routine for us as well?
Yes, it is.
Could you give me a little more information about those girls, their names, how many we're going to see?
We have 3 girls. We have Ashley Cooker. She is a level 7, competing level 7 this year. We have Haley Swam. She's competing level 9. And Elizabeth Williams. She's also competing level 9. Elizabeth will do bars. And Haley and Ashley will do floor, and then Haley will also do vault. So we have a few things that we can show, and it's very impressive. The girls just had a meet this over the weekend here, and they did a great job at their meet, and the girls are excited to show off their skills.
Excellent. We'll be looking forward to that as well.
Like I said, sit down and fasten your seatbelt, because this routine is amazing. When Dick first starts, he jumps up, he balances himself into, it's called a planche.
Yeah, see right there, that position, that requires a lot of core strength and upper body strength just to do that. We did a lot of planks to get more muscular endurance for his abdominal muscles.
Now, when he swings, he tries to keep his hips open on his swings, and look how he's not shaking in the arms. So you really did a good job with him working out.
Yeah, notice how he holds his body up, how prominent his triceps are. We did a lot of dips and a lot of bench dips just to kind of strengthen those upper body muscles.
Well, you can see just how he's holding onto the bar as the legs are up in the air while he's performing that stand. How you've worked on that core to keep him in a nice straight line.
That is incredible core strength right there. Like I said, that's definitely a lot of planks, a lot of isometric abdominal exercises we were able to do to get that core so strong. And how long he holds that position, it's just amazing.
And watch, when he comes down out of that stand and how he's able to move himself around the bar, off to the side with his legs, you can definitely see the conditioning that you've worked on. Oh, he's setting up for the dismount. Let's see if he can stick his landing. Good job, Dick.
Good job. We're back, and we are now in the weight room at the Four Seasons Gym, and I have Ricky and Dick with me. As we talked earlier, there was a series of pre-tests that Ricky put Dick through to assess his level of fitness going into his program. So we wanted to show you what those tests looked like, and Ricky will talk a little bit about each test and what information she can glean from those exercises. So without further ado, we'll move to Ricky, and she'll instruct Dick into the first test.
Okay, well, when I first met Dick, we had a consultation in my office, and obviously I knew I was working with a very fit, strong individual already. He was in really good physical condition, and after talking to him, I realized that he was already pretty active. So I knew that I could start him out with some pretty, demanding tests to see exactly where his fitness level was. So one of the first things we did to test his cardiovascular endurance was the 3-minute step test. So what I had Dick do was stand behind this stepper right here. Yeah, let's just show him a short demonstration. So I would get my timer out, and I have a metronome here. And what I had him do was actually step up and down for 3 minutes to the beat of the metronome. So I'd turn this on. Up, up, down, down. So he had to do that for 3 minutes straight. Then afterwards, I'd have him stop and have a seat on the step. And then I would test his heart rate for about 10 seconds to see where he was. After that, I'm able to obviously multiply that number to find out what his heart rate would have been for a whole minute. And then based on his score, I can compare it to my data to see what range he should be in for his age. Unfortunately, he did not test the greatest on the heart rate, which told me that he definitely needed a little bit more cardiovascular endurance. So that's something we worked out in our routine. So the next test I had him do was the push-up test. So are you ready to demonstrate a few push-ups? Okay. So on this test, the men have to do it on their toes. They're not allowed to be on their knees. And he gets 1 minute to perform as many push-ups as he can perform. So I'd start the timer. Go ahead and start your push-ups. And for 1 minute, he would perform the push-ups. The only way he can pause is in the up position. Once he stops, the push-ups are done. And as you can see, he's performing quite a bit of push-ups for a 70-year-old man. So go ahead, you can stop. And to start, he actually got 17 push-ups in 1 minute, which is an excellent score for his age group. I'm pretty sure now you could probably do about 25 or 30 in 1 minute just because of how your muscular endurance has improved and your strength has improved. So, so that was just one of the tests. Another test to test his core strength is called a plank. So what he does is he gets down on his elbows and toes. And basically, I just take a timer and time how long he can hold this position here. And you'd be surprised to know that he actually held this position, which takes a lot of core strength, for 2 minutes and 34 seconds the first time he came in here, which is a very impressive score. So that's a combination of his gymnastics for so many years and just practicing those moves that he was able to hold it for that long. You can go ahead and take a break. And lastly, what I tested him on was the sit and reach. And we would just have a sit and reach box here. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this from high school. Most people had to do this test in high school, where you put your feet up against the box. And I think our box is in use right now. But you would reach your fingers up and basically see how far he could reach. And he got a pretty good score on that as well. So on all aspects, with his balance, his flexibility, his upper body strength, and his core strength, he scored pretty well overall. And of course, his cardiovascular strength. That was something we worked on a little bit, but that's definitely up there now. So I'd say he did an excellent job, and I knew what I was working with, and we were able to push him to his limits.
Okay, well, thank you for showing us those introductory tests that you do for fitness assessment when people come into your gym. So the sit and reach test, just to be clear, is something that would help assess flexibility then?
Right.
So those tests would indicate, so the first one was for cardiovascular fitness. The second was for upper body strength, which
Yes.
was the push-ups.
Yes.
The third, the plank, was for core body strength. And then sit and reach would be for flexibility.
Yep.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's just a little bit of information on what you should expect to be assessed on if you're starting a fitness plan and you come in to meet with a trainer. Okay, so we talked a little bit about fitness testing if you're engaging in a program for the very first time, but there's also another key aspect that you want to keep in mind. When you're shopping around for gyms, there are certain things that you want to look for to make sure that you're getting the best possible facility to help you reach your fitness goals. And Ricky, could you tell us a little bit about what people should look for when choosing a gym?
Sure. Well, I always tell people if they're really serious about getting started on a fitness regimen, then one of the number one things is accessibility. If the gym is not close, if it's not practical for you to get there, then obviously don't get a gym membership to someplace that's a half hour away, and you're going to have to go out of your way to, no matter how nice it is, to go out of your way just to get a workout in. So that's number one, is location. Number two, when you walk in, how is the staff? Are they friendly? Do they greet you? Do they seem actually interested in helping you? Are they cold? Are they standoffish? Is there staff available to help you when you're actually in the weight room? That's really important. And also having an AED around, which we have one here hanging up on the wall, just for those unfortunate incidents that someone does have a problem in the gym. There's all kinds of things that can happen. That's why it's really important that the staff is actually walking around in the gym. And as far as the staff, are they qualified? You want to make sure that the trainers here, or people any fitness consultant taking you around the gym, has qualifications. We like to just go ahead and put ours up on a board so that when members walk in, they can see the qualifications that our trainers have. You want to make sure that they're certified through an accredited organization. Some of them would be ACE, ACSM, AFA is also accredited. So these are just different organizations that that the trainer has a good education and a good background, and they know what they're doing. And another thing you want to look for, obviously, is cleanliness. Is the gym sanitary? You want to make sure that you see spray bottles up against the wall, or signs that say that you must wipe down the equipment when you're finished, or even hand sanitizers in each room. That's definitely something to look for. And are people following the rules? Are they spraying down the machines when they're done? So that's definitely something to look for.
Well, thank you so much for giving us a little more background information as to what to look for when choosing a fitness center. I believe that we're going to demonstrate some of the equipment that was used. As Ricky indicated and Dick showed us, there were some tests that he did better at than others, and there were some areas that he needed to focus on in order to become successful at reaching his fitness goals. So certainly there were, I would guess, exercises he was engaged in that would help him reach his fitness goals quicker than others. So we're going to see some of those demonstrated now. One of the most important things before you start exercising is always a warm-up. We wanted to demonstrate some good stretching exercises that will get your muscles ready for the hard work they're about to do when you engage in your exercise routine. So Ricky's going to go ahead and instruct Dick in his warm-up routine, and he's going to demonstrate some basic stretches. So the first thing he's doing is he's doing a quad stretch. And one of the important things that you want to think about when stretching your quads is not pulling back too far on the knee. You don't want to injure the knee. Now he's going to switch to make sure that he stretches the other quad. And always, if you have trouble with balance, you'll want to hold on to a wall. Okay, the next stretch will be a hamstring stretch. And Ricky's telling Dick that you want to hold each stretch to get an effective stretch for about 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, this stretch will help stretch your back and your shoulders. And this is a chest stretch. One of the most important things about stretching is not only getting your muscles ready to work, also to help maintain flexibility. Now rolling out the shoulders. And some arm circles just to warm up that upper body. Stretch it out.
Ready to do some balance exercises? We'll start on the balance now. This right here is a bow suit trainer. Just going to step up on top of the bow suit trainer.
Okay, they're doing balance exercises.
Wiggle your feet around on there a little bit. Just move your feet around a little bit. That's it.
And Dick is moving his feet back and forth on a, looks like half of an exercise ball. And what's the proper name for this, Ricky? A Bosu ball?
Yep.
And by doing this, it throws him off balance. So he's continually trying to compensate to regain balance on top of this unsteady surface. And now she's asking him to squat. And I can tell you, having been on one of these before, it is much, much, much harder than you might think. Good job.
Something a little bit more simpler, and it's just holding my leg up.
Ricky's explaining that an exercise modification is to stand on one leg and pull the other one up in the air with your arms out to the side and see how long you can maintain balance. And then to switch, you'll always want to engage both sides when doing balance exercises as well, because you can have one side of your body that's stronger than the other, even in areas such as balance. Most people think only strength, but strength and balance work hand in hand. Again, another modification to this exercise is to put your fingertips against the wall just to sight for balance in case you need a little extra assistance with this exercise. He's kicking his leg out to the side and bringing it back in front of his body without touching it to the ground. Now Dick's going to switch and do the other side. One of the important things to also remember is that almost any exercise can be modified to make it easier according to your ability levels. And as you can see, Dick's able to pull his hand away from the wall on this side of his body. During the flexibility exercises, I was talking briefly about modifications of exercises to make them easier or harder depending on your fitness level. You can also modify exercises so that you don't need to be in a gym to get a good workout. We're going to show you a resistance band row using a resistance band that you can purchase at any store. And you'll perform a rowing exercise, which, Ricky, do you want to go ahead and show us the proper form for the resistance band row? Ricky's going to demonstrate.
I'm going to have Dick here hold on to the handles. And what he's going to do is stand up straight, tighten up his core. Okay, if he needs to, he can bend his knees a little bit, have soft knees so that he has this balance. I'm actually going to have you face your palms towards each other. Okay? And you're pulling back, and when he pulls back, he wants to squeeze the shoulder blades together so that he's engaging those back muscles. As he's pulling in, he should be breathing out. You always want to breathe out on the effort. So he's exhaling now. Very good demonstration. Now that's going to get the middle back if he wants to work the rear delts up here, which is his upper back. He's going to pull up into his chest, and the elbows will flare out to the side. Good. And this is just some of the exercises you can do with resistance band. Anytime you purchase a set of resistance band at the store, it usually comes with a DVD that gives you a number of different exercises that you can use. Make sure you work all the muscles in your upper body and lower body. Okay?
Thank you. Now we're going to move to a piece of gym equipment that will give you the same type of workout. Just to give you an idea of what a similar piece of equipment in a gym would look like, and that you can choose to do things either at a gymnasium or in your home.
That's okay.
Now here we are on a machine called the low row, which will work the exact same muscle groups, and Ricky's going to go ahead and instruct Dick on the proper technique on this machine.
Like Abby said, we're just trying to go from the resistance band to the machine. So this is working the same muscles that we did with the tubing. So he's going to sit up nice and straight for me, but still keep his chest on the pad. So this is very good for him, nice flat back. And he's going to row up into his rib cage, pause there, and he's coming down 1, 2, 3. As always, as he's pulling up, he needs to exhale on the effort. So you always want to breathe out on the hardest part. Pause, and then down 1, 2, 3. Okay. Looks good. Okay.
We're over here now, and Dick's working with free weights. One of the things that you always want to remember is that it's important to have a spotter when you're working on free weights when you don't have a machine to catch the weight that you're trying to lift. So Dick is on an incline press bench, and he's going to show us
Just an incline bench press with dumbbells.
An incline bench press with dumbbells. And Ricky's going to spot him to make sure that he safely performs this exercise. He's pushing up over the chest. So the movement that he's working on is he's bringing his elbows down to a 90-degree angle, and he's coming back up to center, down to 90, and back up to the center to work the chest muscles.
Okay, great job. Hold them in. Sit up before you bring them.
Great job. So we've spent a lot of time in the weight room, and we've talked about many different aspects of weight training. One of the things that we didn't talk about is cardiovascular training and fitness, and there are a multitude of ways that you can condition your cardiovascular system through exercise. Things like swimming, dancing, walking, running, anything that you enjoy that will increase your heart rate. Ricky, can you tell us a little bit about the cardio equipment available here at Four Seasons?
Sure. Well, we have a cardio theater, so there's a variety of equipment in there. We have recumbent bikes for people that need that support. If they've had back problems or any kind of herniated disc, it's best that they sit down when they do their cardio. We have stair steppers, which Dick here is very familiar with.
Monster machine.
He calls it the stair monster, not the stair stepper. And then we have treadmills, variety of different treadmills, and ellipticals where you're able to work your upper body and your lower body simultaneously to get a really good cardio workout. So, but like you said, any cardio is good. It should be cardio that you enjoy doing. That's the best type of cardio. So if you enjoy being with your friends in a group setting, then I would suggest like a group exercise class or getting a walking club together with your friends. Anything that's going to get your heart rate up, get you a little bit sweaty, but you're still able to talk to the person next to you is the best form of cardio.
Thank you so much. And Dick, do you have any final words since we're wrapping up here in the weight room today?
No, other than the fact that I have not even been on all the machines in this room, and it seems like every time in here we're working on another machine, but there's a few that we do on a repeat basis. But the big thing I would caution everybody on is that to go into a facility like this, if you don't really know what you're doing, you need a personal trainer. And I'm not just saying that because you're standing here or because I'm standing here at Four Seasons. You can really hurt yourself if you don't have somebody looking out for you that knows what you can do, what you shouldn't do.
Nicely said, what you can do and what you shouldn't do. Hi, now I'm here with Haley, Elizabeth, and Ashley, three of the fine gymnasts at Carroll Gymnastics Center. And before we see them perform, we're going to talk a little bit with them about their gymnastics experience here at Carroll Gymnastics. So I'll start with Haley. Haley, could you tell me how old you are and how long you have been a gymnast?
I'm 13 and I've been doing gymnastics for 9 years.
9 years. And what level do you compete at?
I'm in level 9.
Level 9. What does that mean? Could you tell our viewers what level 9 means?
Well, it started in level 4 and each year you pretty much progress to a new level. So I've been competing for a while now, and now I'm at like the higher end of gymnastics.
Okay. So what is your favorite event?
I would have to say vault.
Your favorite event is vault. What other events do you compete in?
Oh, I compete all 4 events, which is bars, beam, floor, and vault.
Okay. So will we have the pleasure of watching you perform on the vault for us today?
Yes. Yes, you will.
Excellent. Haley, is there anything else you would like to tell your viewers about your experience in gymnastics?
Well, gymnastics has always been a part of me, and I know it will always be with me, even from the start. Just coming to practice every day, it's just so much fun, so it's a good experience.
So maybe when you're 70 years old, we might be sitting here with you and you'll be back on the vault again, right?
I might, yeah.
Thank you, Haley. Now I'd like to turn to Elizabeth. Yes? Elizabeth, how old are you and how long have you been involved in gymnastics?
I'm 16 and this will be my 11th year.
Your 11th year, and you compete at what level?
Level 9.
Level 9. What is your favorite event?
I love bars.
Parallel and uneven, or?
Just uneven.
Just uneven,
Yeah.
Okay. And do we get to watch you perform on the bars today?
Yes.
Excellent. Is there anything you would like to tell our viewers about your experience in gymnastics?
Yeah, gymnastics it's a tough sport, but I love it and I look forward to it every day, and I just enjoy coming in and seeing all of my friends and competing. It's really fun.
How many times per week do you practice?
4 times.
4 times. How about you, Haley?
Oh, I practice the same with her, so 4 times.
4 times a week? And how much time per day?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah.
So 16 hours a week?
Yeah.
I guess you have to love it to be able to devote 16 hours out of your week to practice. Ashley, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Could you tell me a little bit about your experience in gymnastics?
Well, I've been doing gymnastics since I was 4, and I've been competing for 4 years, and I'm a level 7.
You're level 7, and how old are you?
I'm 14.
14. What is your favorite event?
I like the floor because you just kind of can do a lot of things that no one else can do in a way.
And is that what we'll be able to watch you perform today as well?
Yeah.
Excellent. We're very excited. Thank you all for being here with us today, and we can't wait to see your talents out there in the gym. So, ladies, it was a pleasure. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add? Carroll Gymnastics is great?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And we're back. All I can say is strength of will, strength of body, strength of character. That was an amazing routine. Dick, you did a fabulous job. Can you tell us how you felt up there?
Scared. Seriously, I'm not thinking about anything other than what I have to do, because I know the minute my mind thinks about something else, I'm going to screw it up. So I'm just thinking about doing what needs to be done and trying to meter the energy that's there so I can get through the whole thing. And it just about by the end, it's pretty much the end of the energy too. And if I time it right, that's the way it comes out.
Well, you certainly are a testament and an inspiration to anyone out there that would be looking forward to incorporating physical activity into their life at any age. So thank you so much for spending so much of your time training and presenting this program to us today. Thank you to Kathy Phillips, Director of Carroll Gymnastics Incorporated. Kathy, do you have any closing remarks?
All I can say is Dick did such a wonderful job, and his perseverance through coming in and practicing again, he did wonderful. And it really is exciting because, like I said, even the younger kids who are, out there doing their tumbling skills and they're repetitive, when they stop and they see Dick, they are amazed. Not just because he's an older person, but because of the skills that he's doing, and he did them so well.
So they've given them something to work towards.
Oh yeah, especially the skill where he is balancing on his biceps. They all want to try it. They all want to try it and see if they can do it because it looks so cool.
Have you let any of them try it?
Some have, and some actually do it as a mount on the balance beam. But with gymnastics, the way it's come, it's developed into a more swinging sport. And they don't do a lot of balancing anymore on the parallel bars like they used to do. So for Dick to come in and show the kids that, even my son who is here watching wants to try that. So yeah, it looks great.
Thanks for bringing old school back to Carroll Gymnastics.
That's it.
The old school's not dead yet. Before we close out, though, there's a couple things I would like to say. First of all, Abby, thank you for hosting this program for me. There's no way I could have done everything here, and you did a wonderful job on it. Jessica, thank you for pulling the stops out. Literally, without the cooperation of Four Seasons and making everything available like you did, this could not be possible.
It's our pleasure.
And Kathy, thank you for instigating the whole thing, bringing,
more than
pulling it
welcome.
all together. The first time in here that we tested the bars, it was like, see, I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this off or
Right,
not,
right.
but by bringing it all together, it worked. And then Ricky, let me tell you something. If anybody can work miracles with a body, you sure can. And I say that literally. With the small amount of time that you had to get my upper body strength to where it is, it's been pricey, I know. I needed to get a new wardrobe, folks. You can get into a pricey situation here. The upper body, my suits and my tux, nothing fits anymore. But it's a good feeling. And I have never felt better in my life, and believe me, I thank you ever so much for that. There is one other thing that I know we talked about the right way and the wrong way to get into exercise programs. Gymnastics is something that's a favorite of mine. It may not be right. In fact, it probably isn't right for everybody. But exercise is. Getting fit is for everybody. And this program is not about me. It's about you, our listeners out there. Get off your tuchus. Go out, do something good for yourself, change your lifestyle, and get fit.
Find your passion.
Absolutely. Now you can finish closing out.
That's exactly what I was going to do. So thank you to Ricky Snyder for all the time that you've invested in personal training for Dick. Thank you,
welcome.
Jessica Danatelli, for spending the afternoon with us and opening up your facility to this event.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kathy Phillips, for opening up your wonderful gym.
You're more than welcome.
And thank you to Dick for having the perseverance to bring this program to the community. Please come and visit Four Seasons Sports Complex and Carroll Gymnastics Center. We are very fortunate to have such a facility in Carroll County, and we would encourage anyone looking to getting into a fitness program to visit a gym near you and to seek out a personal trainer to help you with your fitness goals. Thank you so much.